against a 40-year-old man named Justin Baldoni and others in California claiming that she was dealing with harassment.
Blake Lively too?
Into oblivion, Megan. Wait till you see this lawsuit.
It is that many of the cast and crew had unfollowed Baldoni on social media and started to ask questions. These turned to rumors of misbehavior on set by Baldoni.
The battle between Justin Baldoni and Blake Lively heats up. The Gossip Girl actress has begun to share the toll it's having on her personal life.
TMZ reported that Blake Lively has told people that there were multiple reasons that Justin Baldoni made her feel uncomfortable. It's a feminist buzzword. Uncomfortable on set of It Ends With Us.
In the often turbulent and frequently unpredictable world of Hollywood, where fortunes can be made or broken with a single role or a carefully crafted public image, the legal battle between Justin Baldoni and Blake Lively has captivated the attention of the entertainment industry and fans alike. This high-profile dispute, now a sprawling conflict involving accusations of on-set harassment, contractual disagreements, and potential reputational damage, has become a major spectacle. At the heart of the matter is not only the potential financial repercussions and the potential to damage the careers of those involved, but also the examination of the intricacies of celebrity and the often difficult balance between personal and professional lives. Before we go further, please be sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel so you never miss an update. We love hearing from you, so please be sure to drop your thoughts in the comments section below.
We always tease each other. He was, after I gave birth, he was like, oh my gosh, if I lost you and I, went to the park with our 3 kids, I mean, think of the ladies I can. This is a horrible thing to say. And he's like, I've got a long list. And I was like, oh, really? Because I just have one on my list. I didn't. I don't have anyone on my list.
And then it wasn't funny anymore.
No, it's so much more of a burn. He's like, wait, who? And I was like, think of someone. Think of someone. Bob Newhart. I don't know.
The legal conflict, a clash of personalities and accusations, initially took shape with Blake Lively filing a lawsuit against Justin Baldoni and others in California, claiming that she had been subjected to various forms of harassment and seeking a substantial sum of $250 million in damages. This initial filing set the tone for what would become an intense and dramatic confrontation between 2 well-known performers who, before the legal battle, had seemed poised to collaborate fruitfully. Faced with what he perceived to be unfounded and damaging accusations, Justin Baldoni responded with a remarkable countermove, filing a counterclaim seeking a staggering $400 million, alleging that he had been the victim of extortion and defamation. The financial sums alone, the amounts that were being sought by both parties, were staggering to many observers and caused widespread speculation about the reasons and evidence behind these jaw-dropping figures.
I think the idea that people think that they know you, I think because of how intrusive media is these days, people care so much more about your personal life than they do your work, and if you aren't open with your personal life, then they just make it up for you and share it for you.
The video stresses that, from the outset, neither side has appeared willing to concede any ground. Both parties have gone to great lengths to defend their reputations, to protect their careers, and to protect their respective livelihoods. Whereas Lively was seemingly convinced that she had a solid and justifiable basis for her initial accusations, Baldoni, from the other side, believed that he had been unfairly targeted. He intended to mount a forceful defense. This clash of legal strategies swiftly led to a tense environment, and one that would soon be amplified and magnified by the involvement of Blake Lively's husband, the actor Ryan Reynolds. Reynolds was named as part of Baldoni's counterclaim, further escalating the already intense situation.
It's based on a beautiful, really important book, and it's about a young woman named Lily who confronts the generational cycles in her life and breaks them and ends the circle. And I hope people find it inspiring, and yet also, it's a film about a heavy topic. It's about domestic violence.
At the heart of the video's account is a depiction of the initial court hearing, a proceeding that spanned approximately 90 minutes. This session, brief as it was, proved to be more than sufficient time for Baldoni and his legal team to achieve a notable triumph, although a final verdict was not reached. The hearing produced several critical early decisions. One very important decision, that has been discussed in the media was the manner in which the attorneys for both sides would be permitted to handle the media, present their evidence, and pursue their various lines of inquiry. The presiding judge was faced with a flurry of motions, various requests and arguments that were coming from both sides. By the end of the hearing, the scales of justice had tilted heavily in favor of Baldoni and his team, who had achieved a clean sweep of favorable outcomes. Baldoni's attorney, Brian Friedman, approached the courtroom as if he was preparing for a pitched battle, a major fight. He arrived with what can be described as a carefully crafted plan, designed to counter every possible angle, every argument that the opposing counsel might present. Friedman's vigorous advocacy, his determination to succeed, was evident in the way he challenged and disputed the requests that had been made by Lively's attorneys. He was able to turn their arguments against them.
And being frank, if it were not for women giving me direct feedback in my own personal life and being a man who was willing to at least listen to them, there's no chance that I would be having this conversation. So the message, to answer your question, the message is very simple. As men, we need to embrace all of the parts of us that make us human. That's it.
It is.
It's very simple.
The attorneys for Blake Lively, by contrast, seemed visibly unsettled by Friedman's aggressive and combative style. They made an effort to seek a gag order that, if granted, would have greatly restricted Friedman's ability to speak publicly about the case, to conduct press interviews, or to release evidence in a public-facing manner. Their effort, however, was unsuccessful. The judge refused to grant the gag order primarily on the grounds that Lively's side had, to this point, engaged in their own public statements. They had been making their case to the media. The judge, in other words, determined that the request was inconsistent with the actions that had been taken by Lively. The courtroom success that had been achieved by Friedman was not, however, limited solely to the issue of the gag order. Blake's attorneys had also raised concerns regarding Friedman's dynamic approach to releasing information. They were implying that they found it nearly impossible to respond appropriately before he introduced another piece of evidence or another statement to the press. The media, in other words, was being used to the advantage of Baldoni. The court observed that such media engagement was not a one-sided phenomenon. The video points out that Blake's team had themselves gone to leading publications. The court also pointed out that in going to those publications, they had themselves placed Baldoni on the defensive in the public eye, even before he had formulated a response.
She said, just read it, because I was looking for movies that could be commercial and speak to the human experience. And
Were you reading romance novels?
And I had never read a romance novel.
Never?
And she said, just trust me, read it. So I read it, and by the end of the book, I couldn't even read the text on the page because I was crying so much. My wife was in bed next to me, and she's got snot coming out of my nose.
In addition to Friedman's active engagement in the media, Baldoni, again taking the initiative, launched a website. This website was devoted entirely to archiving, cataloging, and presenting documentation related to the dispute. The documents included text messages, receipts, timelines, and other evidence. The idea was to provide unfiltered access to his side of the story and to allow the public to draw its own conclusions. The move was designed to remove the need to rely solely on articles. Lively's team, of course, regarded this move as excessive and improper. They argued that it would prejudice the proceedings by inviting public judgment before the official evidence had even been presented in court. What is next? Please do not forget to like and subscribe.